Hey guys, Adam Tumanero here, coming to you from Sweetwater. Today we are talking all about Nitro Max, Pro, and Ultimate. Let's get into it. We have the Nitro Max, the Nitro Pro, and the all-new Nitro Ultimate. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through all three of these kits. We're going to talk about them individually. We'll talk a little bit about some of the value, some of the features that they come with, hopefully to help you narrow down on the kit that is right for you. So we're going to start with the entry-level Nitro, and that is the Nitro Max that I'm sitting at right here. So in my personal opinion, the reason that the Nitro Max just flies off the shelves is because it's an insane value. The Max costs less than an entry-level acoustic drum set, and it's packed with some incredible features for the price. Combine that with a super small footprint, and you have an eKit that makes it easy and affordable for anyone to start playing drums. So the Max includes 5 drums. We have 3 8-inch toms that can be mounted in any configuration, 1 10-inch snare drum, and our kick tower, which does include the pedal that you can see on the kit now. Now all of these heads are also tunable, so you can tighten or loosen them to find a tension or a playing response or a feel that's going to be most comfortable for you. Now our snare drum is not only a little bit larger than the toms, but it also has an extra zone. And when compared to a single zone drum, especially a snare drum, having that second zone, it adds a level of realism to the sound that's very noticeable. So the Nitro Max includes 3 cymbals. We have 1 hi-hat, 1 crash, and 1 ride cymbal, and our crash cymbal can actually be choked just like a traditional metal cymbal. Now the Nitro Max module comes with 32 drum sets, and it has the memory to store an additional 16 drum sets that you can customize on this module. Now in total, you've got over 440 individual sounds inside of this module, including all of your cymbals, your drums, your kick drum sounds. We also have dozens of onboard practice songs, a built-in metronome, and Bluetooth connectivity. And as someone who works full-time in a studio, I cannot overstate how much you're going to use this Bluetooth feature. So the Nitro Max will basically appear as a Bluetooth device on your phone, and you can connect straight to it. You can also use a tablet or a computer, and then you just plug your headphones into the module, and you can jam to the stream of your Bluetooth audio along with whatever drum set you have selected on the module. On the back of the module, we have 2 1/4-inch outputs, which allow you to send your audio to either speakers or a recording interface. We also have a USB output, which allows you to record MIDI, and we also have 2 open trigger inputs in case you want to add an extra drum or a cymbal to this setup. And we also have an aux input as well in case you want a main line in for any other audio source. Okay, now let's step up to the Nitro Pro. So while this eKit does share some Alesis DNA with the Nitro Max, I describe it as kind of the burly big brother to the Max. For me, one of the first things you're going to notice on the Pro is the drum rack. This rack is bigger, it's thicker, and it's a bit more heavy duty overall than the Nitro Max. Now with that said, it does take up a little bit more real estate, but if you're a heavy hitter, you'll certainly appreciate how solid and well built the Pro's rack feels compared to the Max. Now the Nitro Pro includes the same amount of drums and cymbals as the Max, but there are quite a few upgrades here, and the most obvious of which is going to be some deeper shells, and that helps show off our Strata red finish. Now the tom depth is not just for looks, because these toms now all have dual zones, meaning we can play on both the rims of the drums and the heads as well. So every drum that you hit with your hands is going to be a dual zone drum. And having dual zone drums across the entire kit like this enhances the realism of that finished sound, and it definitely makes this kit a bit more expressive overall. Now another notable upgrade on the Pro is going to be our kick tower, which features an 8-inch mesh pad. This is especially important for my rock and my metal players because a wider kick tower means that it's much easier to use a double kick pedal. Now it's not that you can't use a double kick pedal on the Nitro Max, but when we have this 8-inch mesh kick tower on the Nitro Pro, that extra surface area just makes it more compatible with a variety of different bass drum pedal setups. And with a tunable mesh head, you can also adjust the tension of this kick tower to customize the response and the feel of your pedals when you play. But of course, if you don't play double kick, that same Alesis kick pedal that comes with the Max also comes with the Pro that you can see on this kit now. So we have the same amount of cymbals here. We've got our hi-hats, our crash, and our ride cymbal. All of them are going to be 10 inches, and our crash is still chokeable. Now the Nitro Pro module includes 52 factory kits, so quite a few more than the Nitro Max, but you can still store up to 16 custom kits and make use of over over 500 onboard samples. So there's roughly 60 more individual drum and cymbal sounds that are included inside of the Nitro Pro module when compared to the Max module. For connectivity, the Pro's module is identical to the Nitro Max module. So we have stereo TRS outputs, 2 available trigger inputs, USB output for MIDI, an aux input, a headphone jack, and of course, the very important Bluetooth connectivity as well. Big picture, the Nitro Pro just feels heavy duty. It's hefty compared to the Nitro Max. With a thicker drum rack, deeper dual zone toms, and an upgraded kick tower, the Nitro Pro is well suited for heavy hitters or any drummer who just wants a super sturdy and a durable eKit. Combine this with an expanded library of drum sets and sounds, and you've got a pretty killer setup for the price. And finally, we have the Nitro Ultimate. This is the newest Nitro eKit from Alesis, and while it is most similar to the Nitro Pro, there are a few upgrades that cater to the more distinguished drummer. So the standout features of the Ultimate are going to appeal most to drummers who care about realism and some of the more nuanced elements of the playing experience. For our drums, we have the same package that's included with the Nitro Pro. So we've got mesh heads and dual zones for all of our toms and our snare. Our kick tower is still 8 inches, mesh again, but if we shift to our cymbals, this is where the upgrades really start to stack up. So we have an extra 10-inch crash here, which is also chokeable, but you'll also notice that these cymbals have a brand new design, which takes some inspiration from the arc cymbals in the Alesis Strata series. So we have this very fine circular lathing pattern, which looks killer and definitely has the highest end look among all of the Nitro eKits. Now, the primary feature that sets this kit apart from the Max and the Pro is going to be the hi-hat. So today I'm using a Pearl Eliminator hi-hat stand, but realistically you can use any hi-hat stand that you want, one that you already own, one that you buy separately, all of them will work just fine. Assembly here is super easy. We just drop the hi-hat onto our hi-hat controller here, and that controller just sits right on top of the basket where your bottom hi-hat would normally go. We set our clutch just as normal, and we're good to go. Now, on most e-drums in this price range, including the Nitro Max and the Nitro Pro, the hi-hats are controlled by a foot pedal that isn't physically connected to the hi-hat cymbal. But by using a traditional hi-hat stand, it provides us with a much more realistic feeling all around. We can freely move our hi-hat stand, we can easily raise or lower the hi-hats, we can control our clutch settings, and we can even use some more advanced foot techniques. So if realism on an eKit is the highest priority for you, a traditional hi-hat stand is just going to make a huge impact as soon as you sit down to play this kit. Now, inside of the Ultimate's drum module, Alesis has added some new cymbal samples to the library, and they did this really for 2 reasons. First, we have an extra crash cymbal, so it's really nice to have more samples to experiment with there, so you can assign different crashes to your 2 crashes now. But also, with the new hi-hat controller, we can now trigger a lot more of these in-between hi-hat sounds, where the hi-hats aren't fully closed or fully open, but somewhere in the middle. So there's a lot of extra samples that support that hi-hat dynamic range. Now, the Nitro Ultimate module has the same 52 onboard drum sets as the Pro, with memory for those 16 custom kits, but the total number of samples has jumped from 500 sounds to 640 individual sounds, giving you the largest library of samples in any of the Nitro modules. So that's it for our full Nitro lineup, but I am fully aware that just giving you a list of tech specs won't always give you the confidence that you need to commit to buying a new instrument. Now, as a drum teacher of over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of students buy their first or their second or even their 20th drum set, and I know all too well that finding the perfect kit is an amazing feeling, but buying the wrong kit for your needs is not fun at all. It's a really bad experience. So here's a few recommendations to make sure that the Nitro Pro kit that you decide to buy is one that checks all of the boxes you're looking for and none of the ones that you don't. If you have never played drums before and you're buying an eKit to learn drums for the very first time, the Nitro Max is the easiest and by far the most affordable way to do that. Your upfront investment is incredibly low, and if space is a concern, you can easily fit the Max into super small areas and even fold down that drum rack for really quick storage. While all the Nitro kits can be adjusted to accommodate small children or just smaller people, the Nitro Max has by far the smallest footprint overall, which can be really helpful for young drummers. Now, there's only 2 reasons that I would tell a drummer to skip the Nitro Max in favor of the Nitro Pro or the Ultimate. First would be the kick tower. If you know for a fact that you want to use a double bass pedal to play heavy rock or metal, you're gonna have a much better experience with that 8-inch mesh kick tower, and remember, that only comes with the Pro and the Ultimate. The Nitro Max can work with double kick pedals, but again, gonna be a little bit easier to get it dialed in if you have that 8-inch mesh pad. And secondly, I would say the Nitro Max is just not suited for very large people. If you're someone who's, let's say, over 6 feet or over 250 pounds with really heavy hands, you're just gonna find the Nitro Max to be a little bit undersized for you. Now, for the Nitro Pro, size limitations and double bass pedals are not a concern. The Pro's drum rack is taller, it's wider, and it's just more robust overall, so it's ideal for larger and heavier hitters. Our 8-inch kick tower is gonna feel great on any pedal setup, and you can install that double kick in just seconds. And remember, we also have dual zone toms on the Pro, so it gives you quite a bit more realism overall. Now also, in terms of longevity, the Pro is not a kit that you're gonna outgrow. So if you're buying the Nitro Pro for a child or a teenager, they aren't gonna feel like this drum set is too small for them in a year or two. And as a parent myself, anything that can grow along with my kids is awesome. Now for the Nitro Ultimate, this is a kit that I would recommend for anyone who's chasing the most realistic playing experience. With our extra crash cymbal, our independent hi-hat stand, the Ultimate is gonna feel the most similar to a traditional acoustic drum set. So if you plan to build your skills on an eKit, but you wanna take those skills over to an acoustic kit one day, you're gonna find that transition is a little bit easier coming from the Nitro Ultimate. So if you're coming from the Max and you want a big step up in realism and expressiveness, the Nitro Ultimate will check all of those boxes. And finally, I do recommend the Ultimate for those who want to use it as a studio recording tool. Now, every Nitro kit has the same recording capability within the module, but with an extra crash cymbal and our separate hi-hat stand and a bigger sample library, the Ultimate is just going to be the most powerful studio workhorse among the Nitro line. While the Ultimate does include the kick pedal, it does not include the independent hi-hat stand. Now, for a picky seasoned drummer, this is probably an upside because you can just use your favorite stand that you likely already own. But if the Ultimate is your very first drum set, you will have to find a separate stand to complete the setup, which is something that the Sweetwater sales engineer can definitely help you with. And that will close out our comparison of the Alesis Nitro lineup. I hope this video was helpful, guys, and if you have any questions about any of these kits, drop them in the comments below or reach out to your Sweetwater sales engineer and they'd be happy to help.